So last month, I mentioned that I'm a recovering college professor. The subject that I taught was English. Now, when I was a kid, I always assumed that my English teachers had basically read everything, right? You know, it's like Mrs. Smith, my middle school English teacher. I was like, Mrs. Smith, I bet she's read everything. I mean, look at her. When I decided to go into teaching, though, nobody even asked me if I had read everything, and believe me, I had not. It's not that I don't like reading. I love reading, but it's like if I find an author I like, I'll like obsessively read everything I can find by that one author, and then sometimes multiple times, right? Some of you may be the same. Well, there's a lot of books out there, and there's only so much time. So there's a lot of stuff I didn't get to. In fact, if you're talking about like classic works of literature, a lot of them I taught, or I read for the first time because I was going to be teaching them. You know, like, hey, I better read that book. I'm going to be teaching it next semester. Or, hey, I better read that book. I'm going to be teaching it tomorrow morning. But of course, you know, even in my career teaching, there's a lot of great works of literature that I never had to assign. So even to this day, there's a lot of works that I've missed. So recently, I was placing an order on Amazon. I order from Amazon all the time, but I don't have Amazon Prime, so I don't automatically get that free shipping. But I don't like to pay for shipping, so I always try to make sure that my order is big enough that I cross that threshold where you get the free shipping even if you're a non-Prime member, right? So on this recent order, I was a few dollars short, and I said, you know what? I'm going to order a book that I've never read, a book that any self-respecting English teacher should have read like 1,000,000 years ago. So, 2 questions. 1, what book did I order? And 2, if I order from Amazon all the time and I don't like paying shipping, why don't I have Amazon Prime? I'm going to answer both of those questions at the same time. I'm going to tell you why I don't have Amazon Prime in the style of the book I ordered. So see if you can figure it out, because I guarantee you a lot of you have read this book, or at the very least, been assigned this book. Yeah, I know I said I don't like to pay shipping, for Christ's sake, but I don't care. I'm not going to get that goddamn Amazon Prime. The fact is, I'm probably going to quit ordering from Amazon pretty soon, because I think everybody over at Amazon are just a bunch of phonies. Especially that big shot Jeff Bezos. And if you really think about it, the website itself is really kind of crummy, spelled C-R-U-M-B-Y. What book did I order?
Catcher in the Rye.
Catcher in the Rye, yes. I'd never read it before. It was reasonably priced. It's undeniably a classic of American literature that I should have read at some point, and it's inspired a number of assassination attempts. What's not to like? You know about the assassination attempts? Mark David Chapman, who killed John Lennon, was inspired by Catcher in the Rye. So anyway, I read the book, and I really enjoyed it. It's extremely well written. It's a great character study of the protagonist, Holden Caulfield. And I think I definitely understand why it holds the place it does in 20th century American literature. Put it this way, I definitely know how I would go about teaching it if I had to do that tomorrow morning. But there was one thing that kind of disappointed me. I was reading the book, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. And then I get to the end of the book, and I'm like, that didn't make me want to kill anybody. What gives? But then I thought, why would this book make anybody want to kill anybody? It doesn't make any sense. There's no killing in the book. So I decided to do a little reading up on the murder of John Lennon. When Mark David Chapman was arrested, he was hanging around after he shot Lennon, reading his copy of The Catcher in the Rye when they arrested him. And inside his copy of the book, it says, "This is my statement." And he signs it, Holden Caulfield. And I'm like, oh my God. He looks up to Holden Caulfield. He admires Holden Caulfield. Holden Caulfield is like a hero to him. If you've never read this book, spoiler alert, Holden Caulfield is kind of a loser. I mean, it's a little unfair to say that because the character is 16 years old. Maybe he'll get his shit together, but he's not somebody to look up to. He's like this cynical teenager who keeps getting kicked out of these private schools that his parents spend all this money to send him to, and then he says every other person he meets is a phony because he's trying to cover up his own insecurities. It's incredibly obvious if you have any guidance at all when you're reading the book. And this is Mark David Chapman's hero. This is John Lennon left this earth at the age of 40. No more songs, no more albums, no potential Beatles reunions, all because some homicidal idiot misinterpreted a work of great literature. So I take it back. Reading Catcher in the Rye did make me want to kill somebody. Mark David Chapman's English teacher. Merry Christmas.
On Christmas